The first story today, Trump setting his sights on Chicago and other blue cities. Trump has deployed 2,000 National Guard troops to federalize D.C. That is, we've seen a dramatic drop in crime. I believe today is day 13 of no murders in Washington, D.C.
Weird.
Which is apparently a record. Did you know? Like, hey, we made it almost 2 weeks without killing someone. And everybody's like, yeah, but Trump sucks. And it's like, wait, but you don't have people dying.
Yeah.
In your city. In fact, there's a ton of video of people in D.C. actually celebrating that Trump has federalized the government or federalized the National Guard and brought them in. This TV is not turned on, guys, just so you know.
Yeah, so we can't see anything.
Imagine it.
Yes, and I was about to queue up a video, but I don't think I can queue up the video. The video is an orange man that some call Hitler discussing how he's making the streets safer. Let's roll the clip.
Anywhere on earth. So, I really am honored that the National Guard has done such an incredible job working with the police. And we haven't had to bring in the regular military, which we're willing to do if we have to. And after we do this, we'll go to another location and we'll make it safe also. We're going to make our country very safe. We're going to make our cities very, very safe. Chicago's a mess. You have an incompetent mayor, grossly incompetent. And we'll straighten that one out probably next. That'll be our next one after this. And it won't even be tough. And the people in Chicago, Mr. Vice President, are screaming for us to come. They're wearing red hats, just like this one. But they're wearing red hats. African-American ladies, beautiful ladies, are saying, please, President Trump, come to Chicago. Please. I did great with the black vote, as you know, and they want something happens. So I think Chicago will be our next, and then we'll help with New York, and we're going to help with...
Does he look too old for you guys?
No.
Everybody's been complaining about his hands. He's got some weird bruising on his hands. Connor, I don't know if you can find the photos of the weird bruising on Trump's hand. Originally, it looked like they tried to cover it up with makeup at one point. And then, take right there. See that? Look, that looks like they tried to cover up some bruising with makeup and did a terrible job of it. But then there's a new photo that came out today. That's it right there. Look how dark that spot is.
Maybe
just punching
someone.
or just punching the wall.
Well, they're saying reports are that he shakes hands too aggressively, and those are injuries that have resulted from his handshake. Have you shaken the president's hand?
I've shaken his hand before, and it's a very...
Is it shaken or shook? Have you shook?
I have shaken
you get it shook. By him, you get it shook. By him, you get it shook.
Because he does the grabs and then pulls.
Well, I broke down his handshakes are different for 3 different classes of people. If you're not a threat, if you're younger, or like if you're a woman, or he'll shake your hand, Rob, and he'll do this. He'll tap you, okay? And then the second one is just he keeps his distance, but he shakes it. If you're bigger than him, like Pat or somebody, he's gonna try to like in stature, like Rogan and stuff, or Pat, he's gonna let you know, like, hey, listen, you're tough, but I'm the alpha. That's all body language, and that's all. You know what he did when he shook my hand?
Yeah.
He went like this, and he went.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Like he was like, little guy.
Can we address the hat a little bit? Can you imagine, like, Washington was right about everything? Lincoln was right about everything.
But I mean, okay, he's obviously not right about everything, but a lot of the stuff that they were coming after him about Russia, about the impeachment, about the border, about terrorists, the major ones, he's right. But Rob, and then going to your point,
give him 90%.
He's up there. But and then Rob, going to the point of the story, and it's like, listen, I'm not for National Guard deployed in the cities. This is a first step of something that could be a way, way bigger issue with surveillance. And I'm not a fan of it at all. But this, again, to me, falls on the Democrats. Do your job. Freaking run your city right. Because, bro, you know what gets me sick? Besides Newsom, besides all the governors and all that stuff, the mayor of Chicago, Brandon Johnson, is hands down the worst mayor in the United States. And that's saying a lot. Karen Bass is up there. She's in the running, but this guy has a 6.6% approval rating. People, I don't care that numbers are down by 40 deaths. It's called Chirac for a reason. Nobody feels safe. There's sections in the city of Chicago where the police won't go because they know, I'm dead serious, Brandon, because they know that they'll get shot at in their car. So if they did their job, he wouldn't have to be doing this. And especially in Washington, bro, the guy lives in Washington. If you're the king of the castle, You don't want that shit happening in your city. And like you said, Rob, people want it. There's actually people, and this is why it sucks. The catch-22, no deaths, right? That's what you want in society. But it has to take the National Guard. It has to take Democrats to ruin it so bad that this happens. Because mind you, Rob, he's talking about Washington, Chicago, and where else? L.A.?
Chicago,
Philly,
Atlanta,
New
York City.
Who are these?
Have all been mentioned.
Rob, are these Democrat-run cities?
Every city's Democrat-run
city. That's what
I'm
saying.
You know, you could go in there and clean it up temporarily, but are we going to have the National Guard permanently occupied?
That's what I'm saying.
Because it's a bigger problem than just like the temporary street crime. Like it's going to come back if you pull it out. And
exactly.
The same leadership.
He said 30 days, but bro, I'm telling you right now, if it's working. He's going to say, guys, we might as well keep going. The people like it. We're going to keep going. I'm telling you right now, bro, this is a slippery slope.
Oh, yeah.
Because this could easily become a freaking police state.
Precedent.
Remember when they deployed the troops in the New York City subway? Are they still there?
Kathy Hochul. No, she did it because it was so...
But are they still there?
I don't know.
No, but I don't know if they're still there, but what's interesting is there was zero outrage about Kathy Hochul doing the same exact thing that Trump is doing. She deployed the National Guard to the subways because remember the woman was lit on fire by a transient. Burning alive. And there was video of the woman standing up and walking as she's on fire out of the subway. So they deployed the National Guard there. Not a problem. But when Trump does it, all of a sudden, he's a dictator. This is ushering in martial law. To your point, it's all over the place when it comes to the actual crime stats in D.C. According to the White House, and there was an interview done with Fox News by Greg Pemberton. He is the chair for the District of Columbia Police Union. This guy, Pemberton, says that the crime stats were manipulated. What would happen is instead of marking or reporting some of these crimes as actual crimes, they were writing them down as incidences. So they wouldn't show up in the crime stats. But just from the crime stats that were reported, Washington, D.C. saw a homicide rate of 27.3 per 100,000 residents. That is the fourth highest homicide rate in the country, nearly 6 times higher than New York City, Atlanta, Chicago, and Compton. If Washington, D.C. was a state, it would have the highest homicide rate of any state in the nation. There were over, how many crimes last year? 29,348 crimes reported in Washington, D.C. But those are just ones that were reported as crimes and not these incidences. 1,600 different violent crimes, nearly 16,000 total crimes reported in D.C. this year to date. So you're seeing it's safer in the streets. There's people that are going, hey, there's D.C. residents talking about how much safer the state or the D.C. is. Yes, the city. Like we just showed, Connor, could you show that graph real quick? Or that, yep, there it is. Washington, D.C. goes 12 straight days without a murder following Trump's. Yeah, because that was yesterday, August 25th. So you see that the National Guard deployment in Washington is working, and now people are calling for it to be sent to Chicago. Trump saying Chicago is a mess, called it a killing field, and said that residents are screaming for federal help. There are videos here. We have 3 videos of Chicago residents asking for the National Guard. Connor, if you could play those. Here we are.
The community without fear of being hurt or kidnapped or having a drive-by. So it's what these numbers that they're expressing, we don't feel it in our quality of life.
You know what my favorite theory is, though? I don't know if it's because of this, but I hope it is. I hear a lot of people saying that this is because he's gearing up for something big, like a lot of John Bolton type of situations, and he's putting the National Guard in place in case people rebel against what he's about to do, which I hope so, because that would make me forgive him for a lot of the stuff I'm pissed off about. Because, like, everybody talks about their number one issue with him. My number one issue is definitely, like, tearing down the people that, like, are responsible for the system that we have right now, like the John Boltons and the Jim Comeys and the John Brennans,
Hillary Clinton, the Barack Obama.
I mean, take them down.
Yeah. I don't want to be like. I think he is proving the theory that things can be changed and things can be done. When we saw El Salvador, right, it was the most murder-ridden place, godforsaken place on earth, all right? There was like 100 murders a day.
Of course.
Number
horrible.
one.
Yeah.
Someone walks in, they have a tough outlook on crime. And I asked... And on the like, I asked Connor if we can pull up this video. This guy, Singapore, right? Mm-hmm. It was a swamp. It was an absolute swamp. Crime, drugs, opium, whatever. And now it's a metropolis. And this is the attitude that our leaders should have. All right, this edit goes super hard. I'm sorry, you're gonna love this video. Yeah, look.
Govern Singapore must have that iron in him, or give it up. This is not a game of cards. This is your life and mine. This was a mudflat, swamp. Today, this is a modern city. 10 years from now, this will be a metropolis.
Damn.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, if you have leadership, all right, that takes it seriously. This is your life, Rob. This is my life. And we're not messing around. You know what I mean? Someone needs to go in there and do this. It's not popular, all right? And it's never gonna be popular. But having all these people off the street and in jail makes the average citizen be able to enjoy the city, to go for walks, to take their kids out. I was talking to my mother's, the lady that does her nails. She's from El Salvador. She said, this is how sad is this. Her parents are now in her 60s. They never had a childhood, and they never had teenage years. For the first time, they can go see a movie. For the first time, they can go grab coffee or ice cream. So if we let this go out of hand, like whatever means possible, we need to go back to safety, especially on the nation's capital. You know what I mean? Like the world, when they talk about the United States, they talk about Washington. Yeah. How are we going to have all those murders? Imagine they were celebrating that we had like 13 days of no murders since when?
Yeah.
Like
are you at all worried that this will set a precedent with everything with the police state, Rob, with deploying the military? Because like I said, that could be a ploy of going, all right, guys, so look, nobody's getting killed, everybody's safe. Why don't we do it in Florida? You know what? Why not? They
did it during the pandemic. You think they didn't do it?
No, I understand, but are you comfortable with them letting them do this? Because I agree with Brandon too. I hope that something big is coming down the pipe where they go, all right, guys, this was just to show you guys two things. The policing, more policing, we're using the military, works, number one. Number two, I had to do it because Bolton's getting indicted. Hillary is about to get indicted. Obama. That's why she's kissing ass. Obama, I hope to God. Why do you think Hillary, of all people, Hillary Clinton comes out and goes, you know what? I think Donald Trump should get the Nobel Peace Prize. What?
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
And you have to understand the time that she said that was literally the week where Trump was going. Bill Clinton flew to Epstein's Island. So Trump is out there saying that your husband, the former president of the United States, was on a convicted sex offender's fuck island. Let's be real. That's what it was, a rape island. Yep. And then she comes out and goes, I think he should get the Nobel Peace Prize. Meanwhile, she's the same one that called him a threat to democracy, the next Hitler, on and on and on. Yep. And to Chicago's point, this past weekend, 6 dead, 27 hurt in weekend shootings in Chicago. The weekend before, 34 shot, 5 fatally in weekend shootings. So it's every weekend.
Remember? 4th of July.
People should, by the way, they've had 4 mass shootings in 1 month, and the mayor is the worst. He's the worst, bro. Everything goes to Trump, and it's like we're having small little like spurts of people coming up, but bro, the average what are you doing? How much longer are you gonna put up with this? It's been going on for decades. Something needs to stop, bro. From Lori Lightfoot to whoever the hell was before, they don't give a shit about they don't care about the citizens. For people in Chicago, they don't give a shit about you. Die. They don't give a damn. If they cared, they would secure your ass. And then you have your mayor
that's a good clip.
Who's saying that don't come to Chicago. Like, who are you to threaten, bro? Now I want him to go to Chicago.
Yeah, that's Brandon Johnson right there. I believe that's the clip.
He's the worst, Rob. He's the worst. Go ahead.
As the mayor of this city, I can tell you that Chicagoans are not calling for a military occupation. They are calling for the same thing that we've been calling for some time, and that's investment. What safe cities across America all have in common, they invest in people, and that's what we're doing in Chicago. We need the federal resources to make sure that we're building more affordable housing, expanding mental and behavioral health care, education, all of these things that could reduce crime and provide real community safety. Instead of spending hundreds of millions of dollars for a publicity stunt to invoke chaos and terror, the federal government should spend that money on proven solutions to crime and violence reduction.
He's such a BS
We cannot
artist.
incarcerate our way
Here's the thing, though.
out of violence.
I love what El Salvador did. I like the principle behind what Trump is doing, but it's a scary notion for the next person after him. Like, if he wants to go pedal to the metal with it and do what El Salvador did, like, yeah, we're definitely in need of that. But what comes after that, what that sets precedent for, like, imagine during COVID if they used the military to enforce what they were trying to do, or like during the vaccine stuff, if they're trying to tell you couldn't go outside without the vaccine. Imagine if they tried to use the military to do that, like, which the next person could.
They were pretty close to it. I mean, in Minneapolis during the George Floyd riots, they had National Guard.
Can I add a little bit more trivia?
Add some context. Go ahead.
This guy, as commissioner, he introduced a Justice for Black Lives resolution calling for redirecting funds from policing, incarceration, and criminalization toward expanding public services. So when he was the commissioner, before he became mayor, he was all for it. And then when he started running his campaign in 2023, he flipped. And he goes like, I'm not for defunding the police. So what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Like,
No,
go ahead.
No, I was saying he's clearly not a serious person. He's clearly being told what to do by people because, like, black people despise Brandon Johnson. I've seen infinite amounts of clips of black women making fun of him, saying that he spent like $60,000 on his hair twisties during his campaign.
He's horrible.
And
that guy's trash.
So you're doing a disservice to your own people. Like he's not representing the black people there. He's representing whatever the weird liberal interests want.
Yeah, and I've been saying this for months now. Tell me one thing that's going right. Go ahead.
In Chicago?
Go ahead. In Chicago, in Philly, and Rob, you know what I'm talking about. In California, give me something to brag about. If you were gonna run for anything right now, give me your pitch. Vote for you. Why? Go ahead, Chicago. Go ahead. What do you do good?
It happened so fast too. And places that were safe, places that people lived in, nice neighborhoods where you could walk down the street. I heard people from Philly, Chicago, Detroit say, "I used to live here. I used to ride my bike on the street. And now there's shootings on these streets every night." Like, just in the course of 10 years.
Walk in Philadelphia. I used to work on 4th and Market Street, and I had to be at the radio station at 4 a.m. So that means I would park my car in the parking garage around 3:45, and I would walk 2 blocks to the radio station at 3:45 in the morning. I never felt like I was unsafe. This is 2008. Now, 2 years ago, I'm in Washington, D.C., taking the train in. I was staying with because I worked for the Miami Dolphins that year, and we were staying at the campus of the University of Maryland, and we took the train in to go see Washington, D.C. I've never been so scared in my life sitting on that train going in. It was only 10 o'clock at night, but there were vagrants on the train, homeless people on the train, clearly people on drugs on the train. Now, look, you look at Philadelphia now, you look at Kensington, and it's like a zombie apocalypse with people walking around. But to your point, it only took 20 years from cities like Philadelphia to go to complete shitholes.
Yeah.
Where now I won't even, when I go see family, we avoid Philly altogether. We'll go get Pat's or Gino steaks, and then we're out. We don't go do anything else.
So it's like exponential chaos.
I feel like a mook. We went to California a few weeks ago, and I was like, guys, let's go see the Santa Monica Pier. Like, there's restaurants and things.
You guys went?
And it's going to be amazing. Everyone's going to be out there because I went to school there, so I used to drive up there, and it was 9 p.m., everything was closed. All right, and the pier was closed. I'm not alleging any crimes here, but some guys want to walk through it, and then I'm such a German law-abiding citizen that I waited by myself.
And what was happening 10 feet away from you as me and Rob walked on the pier?
We were breaking the law. Literally, I mean, we were trespassing late at night, and what was happening right by you?
2 ladies from, I'm not gonna say, but they were drunk, and they started going at each other. Police was called.
Oh yeah.
And there was a guy rolling around on the ground with his pants off.
Yeah,
screaming.
So next time I'm gonna break the law, but it's so sad, especially Los Angeles. I don't care about those other cities, but it was such a
California.
It was a booming place. Like, I remember my roommate. He was doing computer science. 3 a.m, his computer gets fried. All right, and he goes like, "Let's go get another computer. We'll jump in the car." And there in LA, you could buy a top of the line computer at 3 a.m. anywhere, and then go see a leather show. But not anymore. Everything is closed.
It's done.
It needs to be saved. It needs to be saved. That's what made America great.
I'm usually a safety last guy, but safety first. You can't be an entrepreneur. You can't do anything. You can't get an education. Nothing. If safety, that's the minimum requirement of a governance. Like, matter of fact, if you go all the way back to times of knights and kings, the way society was organized was by protection. That's why you paid taxes. You had a king that had an army, and you will pay him tribute so you don't get killed by the other tribes.
Well, let's make the economy boom. It's the combination of the government staying out of the way enough for you to start a business without regulations and stuff, but also being in the way enough to make you feel protected for you to take the risk of starting a business or putting yourself at risk that you're not going to have a bunch of thugs come jam up your business or come break all your shit.
But is it worth it, Brandon?
What?
To Vinny's point?
What?
Like, to have the National Guard deployed? I don't know.
I mean, it is because
I'm for it, but
yeah, you're for it right
I'm
now
scared of
because-
what comes next.
Yeah, but you're for it because it's not in your city.
Yeah.
Right now, it's not in your city, but
because we have a great
and we
state.
trust
We
the
have
president
best state.
to not overstep our boundaries.
And we can be armed. You can't have you can barely have any concealed weapons, a gun, or anything in those towns. But I'm just telling you guys, the Democrats are guys. At the end of the day, Trump or whoever, and it's not Trump, it's the people around Trump. They want a police state. Palantir and all these people, they want to know where you're going. They want to know what you're thinking, and they want the military. By the way, them having the National Guard around Brandon and patrolling is perfect for them. Because if the people get too freaking crazy, deploy the National Guard. They're in the streets. I'm telling you right now, it's a slippery slope. I don't like it. I'm going to say it out loud. I do not like it. It's not happening here, so nobody really pays attention to it. But I'm telling you, Robbie, people are going to get comfortable with it. But then next, it's going to go from this state to this state. Oh, your numbers are up. Who's to stop them from coming here?
And the reason's going to change too. Like right now, it's because of chaos and crime in the streets. But what if in the future, if Newsom gets elected, it's because you won't take a vaccine or because you're protesting the results of an election.
That's what I'm saying. So again, not a fan of it, Rob.
Here's JB Pritzker. Somebody here on the panel called him Fat Boy.
Fat Boy.
Yes.
I call him forerunner for the
governor of Illinois, JB Pritzker. Here he is responding to Trump possibly sending the National Guard into Chicago.
Any federal official who would come to Chicago and try to incite my people into violence as a pretext for something darker and more dangerous, we are watching and we are taking names.
Oh, really?
This country has survived darker periods than the one that we're going through right now. And eventually, the pendulum will swing back. Maybe even next year.
Yeah,
What do you eat to get that big?
Donald
We
Trump
can
has
cut the
already
clip.
shown
Imagine
everything. He's never
Imagine-
said no to a
He's
meal.
worth $70 billion. Imagine being worth $70 billion and you can't keep yourself in shape.
Well, especially because you would think that, hey, you know what? I have all that access to money. I get poor people being fat.
Yeah.
I was poor and fat at one time because guess what? When you're poor, what can you afford to eat?
Cheap
Shitty,
food.
cheap
Yeah.
food.
Yeah.
So that's why you live off McDonald's, Burger King. So I can understand why poor people are fat.
Right.
I will never understand how rich people get that fat.
Yeah, you could have
At
the
a certain
best
point, it's
trainers.
like, hey, first of all, you're worth how much?
$70 billion.
70.
true?
Yeah.
Not
70.
7.
Yeah. I believe 20,
That's a lot
maybe
of money.
20.
How about this?
Wait a
Guys,
minute.
yeah, wait, 7
Well,
years.
because the whole family together is worth a couple $100 billion.
Yeah, but here's the thing: if he's worth $1 billion, there's no excuse. That's a glutton.
$3.9 billion.
Okay, I was a little bit off.
billion.
down.
I was a little off.
Well, the Pritzker family's worth like 70.
Well, yeah, they go way back from Whitney Webb. We'll talk about.
Okay,
that.
but even if you're only worth $3.9 million, wouldn't you want to clean yourself up and keep yourself in shape so that you can enjoy the fruits of your labor? You've worked hard
he's
for that
enjoying the
money.
fruits. He's enjoying the fruits, the nuts, the burgers. But Rob, here's the crazy part, though. I'm going, which is hilarious. But he's over here talking about the violence and the. What are you talking about? Your city is one of the most violent, most dangerous places to live in, and he's saying that the National Guard is making it dangerous. No, JB, it's you. You're the governor. The buck stops with the governor, and it trickles down to the mayor. These guys are a joke, bro. It's a joke. And at what point do we say, you know how we have the attitude of, fine, keep voting them in and go ahead, you guys deserve it. But when kids are getting shot, when 14-year-old kids are getting shot, 7-year-old kids are getting shot in drive-bys, when the city is failing, it's failing, and they're all the numbers of the approval rating for Johnson was what I'd say 6.6%. What are we doing, bro? What? Something has to change. I'm not the military. I don't want the National Guard. The people. And I know Pat talked about it on the podcast about how you're born Democrat and you're born, but guess what? Snap out of it. When you go to vote, don't vote for these people. California almost got Newsom out with the recall with Larry Elder. Didn't work. And look what you guys get.
Yeah.
So it's like I feel bad for the residents, but if you vote, if you go and you check Democrat. That's what you're going to
I'm not even sure that they are though. Like all these big cities, these swampy cities, like Chicago, Philly, they're all famous for like severe voting corruption. So I'm not even sure that they are actually voting these people in. I'd be really interested to do like a serious audit or a serious law change. I know Trump just banned mail-in ballots, so it'll be interesting to see how much that changes the outcomes of these elections.
Just to put in perspective, the last time they elected a Republican in Chicago is 1927.
Great.
They only had one Republican mayor.
Damn.
In the whole time. One. And his name was William Hale Thompson.
We just have to have Republicans start pretending to be Democrats.
Yeah.
You know, running as Democrats and then like, gotcha, once they get
Gotcha,
them.
flip.
All right. Well,